Welcome to Talk with TAS. I'm Dr. Teresa A. Smith, your host. Tonight, I am thrilled to have with me Karon Joseph Riley. He's a man of many talents and incredible resilience. He's a former NFL star turned actor, producer, philanthropist, and author. He is known for his inspiring journey from the gridiron to the silver screen. He's the author of Keep Pedaling. Last year, you released your book, Keep Pedaling, The Things I Learned on My Bike and the Wisdom to Keep You Pedaling in Life. What inspired you to write Keep Pedaling?
Wisdom, knowledge, the respect I have for those two words. And I personally believe that's our biggest problem in our culture. It's just the lack of knowledge and the thirst for knowledge. We have to start getting back to figuring out who we are and who we are deeply before slavery and before the things that the world is continue to tell us. I can't speak to every young black boy or young black girl that I would love to be able to pour the wisdom that has been poured into me and be able to pour it into them, because we all have to get to a point in our lives where we are willing to plant seeds for trees that we want to get to enjoy the shade from, right? So the book in itself for me is a seed that I'm planting
Mm.
to any young black boy, any young black girl, and anybody in between. But I'm
Yeah.
starting first and foremost with my culture.
Mhm.
Like I'm living for my people, unapologetically. I'm not about to get into the whole thing of how they try to get us to disarm us from loving each other and loving on each other and protecting our culture. When we protect our culture and we stand up for our culture, they want to make it, like we're being aggressive or we're being racist and all anything. First of all, let me just say this for the people who out there in the short in the big seats way up high, I can't hear too good. Black people have no ability to be racist. We
Mhm. Yeah.
we have zero power over any resource, and we have zero power to stop anybody from upcoming in their life. That is the very definition of a racist. So black folks can never be racist. Now we can be prejudiced, and that's fine. I'm prejudiced to my people in a way that I want my people to win first. And that's just that. That's it. I don't have a problem with any other culture wanting them to win first. I always say this. I'm not I'm not opposed to white supremacy.
Mhm.
I'm opposed to why we can't get no black supremacy, right? It's not because
Absolutely.
they're going to do what they're going to do. We got to do what we got to do. Asians have their culture. Every other culture on the planet has been protected but ours. Why is that? Because
Well, not
what the answer, that's rhetorical. I'm not I didn't the reason why is because we are the most powerful on the planet as far as creativity, as far as everything that we bring to the table. Let's be clear and precise when I say this. People that look like you and me, Doc, gave the world everything that we see today.
Mhm.
All the positive stuff. Now, all the negative stuff, like money, capitalism, well, not no, slavery's been around since the beginning of time. I'm
Mhm.
not I'm well read. I'm well read,
Mhm.
so I'm not gonna be one of these people who believe to say Europeans started slavery. They didn't. We
Mhm.
were we were enslaving each other in Kemet times and African in our ancient times as well. But here's the caveat that I always say. We didn't make it a bad thing. It was part of life. If we lost a battle with another tribe or argument with another tribe, that is how we paid the debt of loss. So keep pedaling in a bottle for me was my attempt to teach my people how to develop their own supremacy, their own techniques, their own ways to find the greatest version of themselves and bring that to the culture, bring that to your life, and let's see what it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing in my book that nobody can't replicate and do just by just saying, look, okay, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that's really what I want to do. I'm not here to walk you through it. I'm just here to leave some guidance and some teaching on how to catch a few fish and then get to
Mhm.
the next, right?
Yep.
Um, so that's what the book is. It's a love letter. It's my manifesto as a human, as a spirit, as a black man, as an African man, a Pan-Africanist that believes in the culture above, believe, and that's my it's my love letter to the culture, to every black boy, but every black girl that I won't get to personally meet or talk to. Um, that's my opportunity to speak to them in some way and encourage them.
In America, when we hear the word supremacy, even
Mhm,
if the word white is not there, we hear that word. And so therefore it gets a bad connotation.
mhm,
But if we could remove white, is what you've suggested, and
mhm,
look at supremacy as being supreme in what we do within our race, what you do within yourself,
mhm,
it's not a negative connotation. And that makes perfect sense for what you're trying to do with Keep Peddling. You're trying to make sure that we are all the best person that we can be for
mhm,
ourselves first, our
mhm.
families, then our communities, and then our race. And so I love that you have taken a concept that is hard to grasp, but it really shouldn't be hard to grasp, but it's hard to grasp and broken it down into simpler terms. That's really not that simple, though, because I read the book. It's simple, but it's not.
Right.
Because you talk about self knowledge, you're big on self knowledge, and anybody listening here knows you're big on self knowledge. So you're talking about reflect. First, you got to go get that knowledge. Then you right, it's not, you don't put understand, it's another word for it, but we got to
Understand,
understand.
understand,
Yeah,
overstand.
yeah.
Once you understand it, then you overstand it. Then you, because think about it, understanding is a very basic
Mm-hmm,
level of understanding.
mm-hmm,
That's basically saying I understand 1 + 1 can equal 2. But
yep,
there's so many different layers to that
mm-hmm,
if you want to go deeper.
mm-hmm,
My whole approach to everything is go deeper. Get out of the surface where they put us in through our social media, through us, through our education. They are keeping us away from the deep stuff. The whole religion game is set up to keep you out of your inner self.
mm-hmm,
Every religion talks about going outside of yourself looking for answers. But
yep,
it's right there written. If you read it,
yep,
if you find heaven, it's going to be finding within yourself.
yep,
It's written. But
yep,
they preach something totally different, right?
mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm,
why I never
yep,
could get down with the religion stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like if you follow religion, you are being led to the slaughter
mm-hmm,
in one shape, fashion, or form by either willingly or you're basically depowering yourself to never realize your true potential. You remember when Kanye spoke out, and I'm not, and let's just say this out loud. I'm not in no shape, fashion, or form backing up Kanye in any shape
mm-hmm,
because Kanye, when he said he doesn't read, he lost me first and
yeah,
foremost.
mm-hmm,
Um, but I do know he's spiritually inclined.
yes,
He just would not go and find the resources to help him understand himself. See, Kanye has no self-knowledge. So when
mm-hmm,
he said for black people sitting in slavery was a choice, he didn't mean that literally in a
mm-hmm,
way that people kind of try to throw it under the way. It was more of a sense of saying you got 30 at one point it'd be 30, 40, 50 slaves on the plantation.
mm-hmm,
And it'd be 4 or 5, maybe at the most, if you're a real rich plantation, 10 people watching them.
yep,
How do you how do you convince those people that they can overcome and take over?
mm-hmm,
And here's the thing, this is the thing about how they teach in school too as well. They have thousands of revolts every year,
mm-hmm,
seasonally enslaved. They don't talk about all the revolts that they had. They don't want to. They don't want that because they don't want to. They don't want us to see our fighting spirits.
yes,
You see what I'm saying? So they don't even
mm-hmm,
talk about those things. So it wasn't like we were just sitting on a plantation saying, "Oh, we gave up. They didn't brought us here on these. We stuck here." No, we was fighting the whole time. It
mm-hmm,
was just they were so relentless in the psychological warfare that eventually we broke, as any human would. And somehow we've lost control. We got to figure out our way. But at the end of the day, it's enough for everybody. When we was in control of this planet, it thrived.
mm-hmm,
Period. All we did was make dope like
yep,
pyramids and
yep,
sphinx and
yes,
we was just doing dope because that's what we
mm-hmm,
had to do. It wasn't
yep,
no, it wasn't no, it was we had to, we had to fight some fight and stuff because that's just human
mm-hmm,
nature. You
mm-hmm,
know what I'm saying? We fought, did things like that, but it wasn't nothing to the point of the greed that we have now.
mm-hmm,
The greed, the money, the things that's tearing our whole world apart. This is outside of the culture. And this is what I'm gonna say this, and then you can ask your next question. I'm gonna just drop this last one that I believe is that us as a culture is really is the temperature of the world. So until we get ourselves right, the world can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on the planet looked like us in the very beginning.
Exactly.
So
And
we're all brothers and sisters. We just have all been changed based on the geographic of where we all migrated from Africa at some point in life. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Every white person on the planet was black at one point.
Yeah. Because
Until they lost their lost their melanin. It was just basically when we all migrated. We all started going out exploring.
mm-hmm.
That's why it was black people in America. It was black people everywhere, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? If you look at any statue in Asia, old statues in India, anywhere, they're black. Like these are the people that was here first. Then, over thousands of years of evolution and all these different things, you had a group of people that came out of these mountains called the Caucasus Mountains, and they had lost their melanin. Caucasians, Europe, all those things. That's where they at some point they were us. But imagine being somewhere where you can't get no sun for 1,000 years,
Mm-hmm.
and food is scarce.
Yeah.
So what does that do to your evolution?
Good.
You lose your melanin.
Change it.
You lose your melanin, and
Lose your body.
you lose your abilities for humility. You got to eat each other
Mm-hmm.
to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You start hoarding.
Yep.
And isn't that what the world energy is now?
Yes.
It's a world of hoarding. It's a world of it's never enough because
Mm-hmm.
the people who are now running it, their energy is the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
When we had the world, the borders were open. People come in. They popped up on us. We invited them in. Oh, you know what? By the way, this is soap, guys. Try that. These are
Yeah.
books.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is that. Look at these are stars.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, what you doing with your hair? What kind of this is man, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't have all of this borders and again, could that have been the problem? Maybe so. Right? You had the Asian version of us. They
Mm-hmm.
understood how to protect their culture. So they built the Great Wall of China and didn't let outsiders in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very smart. That's why the
Yeah.
Asians still have their culture. The only
Yeah.
people that was open and willing to let people in was us.
Remain resilient, or to develop resilience, you got to have self-knowledge. And that's that understand, instand, and withstand, understand. Help me to now understand.
I want you to understand.
Help me
Because
to understand.
when you understand it, you ain't even gotta think about it no more. You become it. You become it. Understanding is just like you could have a base understanding of speaking Spanish to somebody, but if
Mm-hmm.
you didn't grow up in the culture of Spanish, then you don't understand. So I want you to understand your self knowledge to the point where you radiate energy. Your energy is depicted upon what you see of yourself. What's inside is on the outside. What is below is above. So there is direct correlation to what you project from the internal to the external. So that's why I want everybody to understand we are walking gods. Each and every one of us are walking gods, and we create our own individual universes within this giant universe of multiple universes. So when you see somebody else outside of your universe having a bad day, give them grace. They may be having a whole natural disaster in their universe. And
So true.
that ain't your business. And thank God,
Mm-hmm.
thank the overall universe that you ain't got no disasters in your universe at that moment. You see what I'm saying? So that's the problem with everybody in the world. We so outside thinking that we don't see inside to the point that I see a white person, Chinese person, anybody, they got the same needs I got.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be safe. They want to be able to feed their children. They want to be take care of. They want to have a full life. That's the connection.
When I am inside and the inner understanding, then I then begin to understand that whatever is happening, it is my fault. Even if I
Mm-hmm.
did not do it, it's still my fault. And I was reading that and I was thinking about how it is sort of liberating when I look at it that way, because it relieves all the stress. I think you talked about with your wife, with your children, it's my fault. Because it also de-escalates things. And we all have to take responsibility for this world that we are our our world that we live in, big world, but then this world that we live in and the people who are around us, we all play a role in it. So yeah, it's my fault.
Right.
But doing that and understanding understanding it is a mind shift. But when you do, it's empowering, it's resilience building, because it's never what has happened to me. And this might be from the book I read so much. It's what's happening for
For
me,
me.
you know.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I hear it, I understand it, and it makes sense. But how do I begin to adapt that mentality? Because a person can hear it, they can read it. Now, of course, that's self knowledge. Now, because I'm big on people that reflection and that positive self talk. Because you see, obviously, I've been thinking about this, because you
Mm-hmm.
have to think, because that's the only way you get knowledge. We can read, here, but if we're not inside trying to understand it, then apply it to our life, then our life could possibly, because I don't want to just make it emphatic, could possibly remain stagnant. And then we asking people outside of us, why am I not improving? Well, what have you done to improve yourself first, so that your situation outside of you, which is still part of you, can then improve?
Right.
Am I trying to pedal a little bit here?
No, no, you pedaling like a mug. And sometimes you out pedal yourself and you ain't going nowhere, but it's okay. I'm gonna get you in the right
Okay,
gear.
okay,
It's all about getting in the right gear.
okay.
So basically the accountability piece is, if you take that full accountability,
Mm-hmm.
that is where you find the lessons. That is where you find the minutia of the things that the universe is giving you.
Mm-hmm.
If you spend all your time deflecting and not owning your purpose, not owning your mistakes, not owning anything, then you don't own anything. You don't own success. You don't own. It's all deflected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the universe is not built in the way of deflecting. It's built in straight numbers and intentions. And it's not. There is no doubt in the universe. And I tell people all the time, you can't have faith and be fearful. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. It's impossible. Like
Mm-hmm.
my mom used to always talk about faith when she was still here, and then she would, on the side part of that, she would be like, "But I'm worried about, like you, mom. You can't go from faith and then say you're worried about something. That's mom. You
Have you
got it.
been?
But so you can't have both, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing, how people they've gotten us kind of off track with everything, is they keep us confused. They keep us not searching for the, the accountability piece. For me, keeps me asking questions.
I got two things I want to talk about. I don't understand. Well, I know it's a pride thing. I think in the big world of it, why people want this, but they're not willing to do what it takes to get this, even if it means doing something that they may feel that they shouldn't have to do. Because I had a college, my first degree, and I did private duty. I have no shame in saying that whatsoever. I learned a lot from the people that because they were older, white, rich people that I did private duty for. So I learned a lot from those people. It gave me an exposure that I would not have had. I have no shame in saying that. I did that even when I had my second degree, because I had people that I had been working with. So when they needed somebody, they called me because they could trust me. I have no shame in that, because I learned from those individuals, because everything was a learning thing for me. So if I had to wait tables, I would wait tables now, because there's no shame in my game. But I don't understand, but maybe I do, since I use the word understand. I don't understand why people want it, but they won't do the legal things to do to get it, even if they hear a bad patch. So is it because there's a disconnect between that inner standing, that just because I'm doing private duty right now does not mean that I'm going to be doing private duty for the rest of my life unless I choose to do that? It's just a stepping stone to get me to where I want to be. Is that what it is?
I think we get ourselves caught up too much in our identities of what we do,
Mm-hmm.
as far as
Yep.
um yes, I'm an actor. Yes, I wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm a father. Yes, I'm a son. Yes, I'm a brother. But there's about a million other things that I'm capable of being too.
Yep.
So I don't hang my hat on none of it at a point of well, so I don't have pride in any of it. I think pride is a thing it's first of all, pride is something that you earn. I believe if you're gonna be prideful because you put in a lot of fucking
Yes.
work, and let that pride make you walk into a room with your shoulders back, your chest up, and you speak clear and you speak honest and confident to people. But don't let that pride block you from an experience that is going to serve you and help you. Like it sounds like you just like me. Like you're going to keep moving in life because you know what your intentions are. You know what your purpose is, and so you moving in that journey without worrying about the result. Like I always tell people, the how is never important.
Mm-mm.
It's the why. What is
Mm-hmm.
your why?
Mm-hmm.
And I
What is
think
your why?
when you got a strong enough why, the how you get to it matters not. You'll serve tables, you'll build airports, you'll do whatever it takes to get to that why.
What made you understand? Was there a particular incident that made you understand that you had to take accountability for everything that happened for you, not, not to you, but for you? What made you adopt that mantra, that reality that that's how you flourish when you can actually do that?
Well, I think if I say it's if I believe who I say I am, then it is who I am, right? Um,
Yep.
for
Yep.
for me not to take accountability, I take my power away.
Mm.
Literally, literally. So that's where that's the zone I live in. I live in the
Mm.
zone of if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen because of me.
Mhm.
Good or bad. Good or bad. I'm not I'm not running away from my power.
Mm.
I know I have the power to control me, my thoughts, my energy, my work ethic, my discipline. Everything outside of that, I have zero, I can't even waste energy worried about it. And just to piggyback on what you mentioned was for your example was if you're in a relationship with a person who can't find a way out of that negative space, then it's your fault that you're still there.
Come on here. I can say
Period.
black man to you because you know who says, come on, preach, black man, preach. Come
No,
on here, black man.
yeah, no, seriously. If that's
Yeah.
again, find your accountability. That person keeps coming because anybody who knows me well, who's around me a lot, they know they can't come at me with no victim mentality.
I want
Because
to hear that.
yo, you come if you come to me, you're coming for some strategy, some answers, trying to figure out a move. Because you and you battling. You
Mm-hmm.
you ain't just giving up. Oh my God, oh with me, and you're not taking your accountability for why you here in this position in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got partners who've gone through divorce, and I told them I'm like, look, man, what's your accountability in this? Like, find your accountability in this divorce, and you're gonna find your peace.
Yes.
And you also might save your marriage
Mm-hmm.
if it ain't said and done. If you find your accountability and you can own that, you might
Yep.
be able to save it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason why y'all in divorce right now, because neither one of y'all want to take accountability.
Yep.
Everybody's blaming. Everybody's blaming.
Mm-hmm.
There is no
Mm-hmm.
blaming. That is, what did you do?
What did you do?
Right? What did you do?
What
Not
did you do?
not him, not her, not she, not
Mm-hmm.
me. What did
What did
you do?
I do?
And you find what you did, and you be honest. But the
Mm-hmm.
moment you lie to yourself is the moment your life starts to go left.
Hmm.
And I've done a lot of things in my life. I've lied to some people in my life, but I never lied to myself.
When you lie to yourself, I think about people who are stuck in relationships. I'm gonna leave, but they don't ever leave because they lying to themselves. It's
And
gonna
I,
get better, but it ain't got better yet, honey. When you
and,
think
and
it's gonna get better?
and I always tell people if you're in the midst of something going on within a relationship, give it the time. Give your first of all, no, give yourself the time. Because first you gotta find if the relationship is going left, either
Mm-hmm.
that be a friendship,
Mm-hmm.
an interpersonal relationship, a job,
Yes.
anything. Give it time to find your accountability. And once you find your accountability, you understand, overstand, understand that, okay, I'm taking accountability to understand that, okay, now this really is out of my power. This is out of my power. But first, once you take accountability, do your job to correct your mistakes within that entity. So if the job was bad, most times you think the job was bad. How many times you been late? How many times you done not your job? How many times you did it? Your girlfriend saying you keep doing y'all having problems. How many times you ain't called her when you was supposed to call
Yep.
her? How many times you
Yep.
didn't do what you said you was supposed to
Gonna
do?
do.
Every time your friend and you beefing about something, how many times you flaked on them? How many? So then once you find those, then you make a considerable amount of adjusting and owning your, and you take the time to actually make some corrections within yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing, and the situation doesn't change anymore, it still doesn't change, then you understand that that's out of your control. Then you can make a different decision. This job ain't for me. This friendship ain't for me. This relationship ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've done the work, you've taken accountability, and then you can leave all those situations with a level of grace and humility that if something ever came up in life, you could always come back.
Yep. Come back.
Could always come back, because those people that you left, or that job you left, or that situation you left, that you leaving might trigger them to do the work they needed to do to keep the whole relationship together in the first place.
Yep.
But you being brave enough to be you and hold true to you gave them the freedom to become their self. So then you were being a good friend, you were being a good spouse, you were being a good employee.
Yep.
That's how it's supposed to work. We have to bring our best selves to the picture by knowing our best selves, so everybody else can free themselves to be their best selves. Until we get to that point, the world gonna stay all confused and fucked up. Stop wasting energy on that stuff. Work on becoming the best joyful nene you can be. Because your kids, if you got kids, they're gonna benefit. If you got a business, that's gonna benefit. If you got a husband or a boyfriend, or whatever you got, I don't even know what joyful nene is. It could be anybody. But whatever you got, if you focus on joyful nene and get out of these distractions of this world, which it's a big TV show. I'm an actor. I'm an entertainer, and the best TV on TV right now is Trump. He is the best entertainer on the planet. He's not a politician. He's not a person he's not a leader. Well, yeah, politicians are entertainers, but he's not a leader. He's not a innovator. He's not a spiritual. Listen, he's an entertainer with not a lot of talent. So take that with a grain of salt. Take all this media with a grain of salt, Joy. This is all set up to keep you distracted from your purpose, from your happiness, from what you're here to do. It's all fake. So just stay far. I don't even watch the news.
All of that stuff is a distraction, and it keeps you from evolving into the best person that you can be. And I'm so glad that you responded that way, because that's what I believe too. And we get so caught up on this stuff that we cannot control, that's outside of us, like you said, that we don't spend time on us. And you got to think
Hey,
about what that does to you, because I believe that brainwashing starts from within, but brainwashing can occur from without. But we have to let it
every
in for
every
it to
every
occur.
everything you let into your cipher, if you not guarded, it will get into your subconscious. And once it gets into your subconscious, if you don't have a conscious insurance of it, is what I like to call it, meaning self-knowledge is your conscious insurance. Because your
Mhm.
subconscious is gonna do what it's gonna do. But your
Mhm.
conscious is your security. Meaning I'm
Mhm.
always aware that I have to filter everything.
Yes.
I have to filter everything, and I also have to stand strong on who I am, which really, it's like when you wash your car, you wax it, and then you put the water on it and it beads off.
Mhm.
Once you get to a full foundation of who you are, that's how shit happens to you. Shit beads off of you.
Oh, yeah.
Stress beads off of you. Challenges bead off of you. Uh, hate beads off of
Mhm.
you. Uh, hard times bleed off of you. Everything that can distract you bleeds off of you. Let's get back to pedaling, because we started on pedaling. You on a bike, you got a big hill. But it bleeds off of you. You just get up the hill. It's all life. It's all life, and you have to arm yourself with self-love, self-dedication, and self-purpose. And that way you'll be able to serve and do the things we all came here to do.
And guys, thank you for joining us. And until next time, before you take care of someone else, make sure you take care of
Take care
yourself
of
first.
yourself.
Bye now.
Ashe.